You're sitting in your car, you just got off a call with a recruiter. The number they mentioned, it's 18% higher than what you make now. You're and it's bigger than you think. Welcome to Career Cheat Codes. Today we're breaking down one of the most counterintuitive findings in hiring research. External hires get paid 18% more than internal promotions. That's real money. But here's what recruiters won't tell you. They also get fired 61% faster. So you've got a choice. Take the money and accept the risk. Or stay put and watch others leapfrog you. But those aren't your only options. There's a third path, a cheat code, and it requires understanding the real math behind these numbers. That's exactly what we're covering today. This all started with a landmark study from Wharton. Researchers wanted to answer a simple question. Are external hires actually worth the premium companies pay them? They tracked thousands of employees across industries, same job levels, same responsibilities. The only difference? How they got the role, from inside or outside. What they found challenged everything companies believed about talent acquisition. External hires consistently underperformed for the first 2 years. Not by a little, significantly. The Wharton study found that external hires are paid about 18% more than internally promoted workers. Yet their performance evaluations are worse for the first 24 months. Think about that. Companies are paying more and getting less for 2 full years. That's not a hiring strategy, that's an expensive bet. But why? Why do external hires struggle? It's not because they're less talented. The research points to something else entirely: institutional knowledge. Internal candidates already know the politics. They know whose approval actually matters. They know the informal processes that get things done. External hires have to learn all of that from scratch, while also proving they deserved that premium salary. It's a brutal combination. Here's where it gets worse. External hires face a 61% higher risk of being fired compared to internal promotions. The survival rate just isn't the same. And the data on retention tells the same story. Companies with strong internal hiring programs report 53% longer employee tenures. People stay when they see a path up. So if internal promotion is so effective, why are companies hiring more externally than ever? Here's the twist. In 2025, internal hires made up only 24% of filled positions. That's one of the lowest internal hiring rates ever observed, down from the historical average of 30 to 32%. Companies are doing the opposite of what the research says works. Why? Because internal mobility requires investment, training, development, clear pathways that takes time and money most companies aren't willing to spend. It's easier to buy talent than to build it. At least, that's what the short-term thinking says. The long-term numbers tell a different story. But here's the nuance most people miss. External hires who survive that brutal first 2 years, they often get promoted faster than internal candidates afterward. The game changes once they're in. Why? Because they've already proven they can adapt. They've already shown they can perform under pressure. Survival becomes its own credential. So the external path isn't wrong, it's just riskier. Higher ceiling, but a much steeper cliff. The question is, which risk matches your situation? Let's get practical. First, you need to understand your company's internal mobility rate. If it's below 25%, your path up might only exist outside. You might want to check your company's careers page. Count how many roles went to internal versus external candidates last quarter. That ratio tells you everything about your real options. If you're betting on internal advancement, here's your timeline. Start positioning 6 to 12 months before target roles open, not when they post, way before. Build relationships with the hiring manager now. Demonstrate relevant skills before the job description even exists. By the time it posts, you should already be the obvious choice. But what if internal paths are blocked? What if your company just doesn't promote from within? Then external is your only move, and that means preparing for the risk. Research shows external hires who set explicit 90-day performance benchmarks significantly improve their survival odds. You need to manage expectations from day one. When you negotiate an external offer, consider asking for a 90-day review with explicit metrics. Know exactly what success looks like. Don't assume, define it in writing. And here's a question you should always ask in external interviews. What's the internal versus external hire ratio on this team? What happened to the last person in this role? If the last 3 people were external hires who lasted less than a year, that's a red flag. The role might be set up to fail, or the team might have a retention problem. There's another angle the IZA research revealed. External hires at lower ranks often accept slightly less compensation because they're betting on future promotions. The premium disappears when you're not senior. So the 18% premium, it's concentrated at senior levels. If you're mid-career and jumping ship, you might not see nearly that bump. Here's the cheat code most people miss entirely. You can combine both strategies. Get an external offer, then use it to negotiate an internal counter-offer. The external offer establishes your market value, it's objective, it's real. Your current employer can't argue with what someone else is willing to pay you. If they match, or come close, you get the external salary without the external risk. You keep your institutional knowledge advantage, best of both worlds. But, and this is important, this only works if you're actually willing to leave. Companies can smell a bluff. You need to be genuinely prepared to take that external offer. The research from Cronus consistently shows that internal promotions yield higher success rates compared to bringing in external candidates. But success requires the internal path to actually exist. Too many people wait for promotions that will never come. They're loyal to companies that don't reciprocate. That's not strategy, that's wishful thinking. So here's what you might want to do. Map your company's last 10 promotions in your department. How many went to internal candidates? That number is your reality check. If it's less than half, start interviewing externally now. Not as revenge, as research. Learn what you're worth. Learn what's out there. Information is leverage. The biggest mistake ambitious professionals make? They pick a strategy and commit too early. Internal or external isn't a permanent identity, it's a tactical choice. The right answer depends on your situation right now, your company's culture, your boss's influence, your industry's hiring patterns. These variables change, your strategy should too. Research suggests that timing matters enormously. The Great Resignation of 2020 to 2022 drove external hiring to record levels. Now the market is shifting toward retention and internal mobility. Companies that overhired externally are dealing with the consequences. Performance issues, cultural friction, turnover costs. Smart organizations are learning from those mistakes. If you're at a company that's burned by external hires, internal advancement might be more possible than it was 2 years ago. The pendulum is swinging back. Pay attention to your company's recent announcements, internal mobility programs, leadership development initiatives. These signals tell you where opportunities are opening. Let's talk about the debate that never gets resolved. Are external hires actually worse performers, or are they just held to higher standards because of that premium salary? Some researchers argue external hires face unrealistic expectations. Managers expect more because they paid more. That scrutiny becomes self-fulfilling. Higher standards lead to lower ratings. Others counter that the data is the data. External hires take longer to ramp. They make more mistakes, they leave faster. Those aren't rating biases, those are measurable outcomes. There's also debate about whether internal promotion cultures become too insular. Fresh perspectives get lost, innovation stagnates. The same thinking gets recycled through the ranks. Here's how that debate matters to you. Some industries value fresh thinking highly. Tech, creative, consulting. Others value institutional continuity, banking, government, healthcare. If your industry prizes innovation, external moves might be better received. If your industry prizes stability, internal advancement might be the safer bet. Know your context. Here's something that surprised me when I looked at this research has the 24-month cliff. That's the turning point. Make it past 2 years as an external hire, and your trajectory changes. Before 24 months, external hires underperform internal promotions consistently. After 24 months, the gap closes and sometimes reverses. That 2-year mark is survival. If you're taking an external role, manage your first 2 years like a survival mission. Keep your head down, learn fast, build allies. The premium only pays off if you're still there to collect it. But don't mistake survival for passivity. You still need to deliver, you still need to build relationships, you just need to do it while everyone watches you more closely. One approach that works: document your wins obsessively. Keep a running file of projects delivered, problems solved, and positive feedback received. You'll need this ammunition at review time. And if you're at a company considering whether to promote internally or hire externally, now you know the math. The external premium comes with hidden costs that often don't show up until it's too late. If you found this breakdown useful, consider hitting subscribe. We put out new episodes on career strategy every week, the kind of research-backed tactics that don't show up in HR training. Let's recap. External hires get paid 18% more, but face 61% higher firing risk. Internal promotions pay less upfront but outperform for 2 full years. The cheat code? Use external offers to benchmark your value, whether you take them or use them as negotiation leverage internally. The market tells you what you're worth. Listen to it. Remember, internal versus external isn't an identity, it's a tactical choice. Make it based on data, not loyalty. Make it based on your situation, not someone else's advice. This is Career Cheat Codes. Now you know the math. Go make your move.